website is, and I actually forgot to put this in there, it's civilrights.justice.gov/report, and I'll go ahead and put a banner up right now that says that, so you can see it right there. That's the exact website where you're going to see this web page pop up. So anyone that believes that their civil rights have been violated in certain circumstances can go to this website and file a complaint. It's available to the public here. Now, it gets complicated. There's legal stuff with it. And so you really have to do your own research and figure out what's what. Do your own due diligence here. I had to do my own due diligence, and I still think I'm probably missing stuff in my own situation that I'm not able to quite navigate yet, because life kind of throws you a lot of different things. And this is like one more thing where I'm like, okay, not really quite sure what next steps to take, but I'm definitely figuring it out. And this, for sure, for me, there's no doubt in my mind, like I made the right decision, because I read the info, I did my research, and it matches up with like what I need to do. Okay, so this is our website. It says United States Department of Justice, contact the Department of Justice to report a civil rights violation. It has 7 steps. It's really user friendly. It says if you believe you or someone else has experienced a civil rights violation, please tell us what happened. And then it gives some information. Contact. You are not required to provide your name or contact information. If you want to remain anonymous, leave the section blank. If you choose to provide your contact information, we will only use it to respond to your submission. I think that's really awesome, because people are really afraid in different situations to maybe report information because of retaliation. It's very real when you're dealing with, humans. Okay, so it has your name. I just filled in because I'm just doing this as an, show and tell, test, and because I didn't know I could leave it blank to kind of, scroll through it. But yeah, it has a lot of basic contact information: first name, last name, email address, phone number, mailing address. And then it has an interesting question, because they're focusing now. There's an initiative within the Department of Justice to focus on the military community, and to make sure that, they're basically having their rights honored as well, that population, that community of people. So it says, are you now or have you ever been an active duty service member? And it is required to answer yes or no, it says. If you're reporting on behalf of someone else, please select their status. Yes, no. It's a check mark thing, little check bubble. Okay, then you click the next one. I click the next one. Like I say, I just did this today. It's loading. Let's see. Okay, it's like really quite slow here. Oh, I guess I'll have to do a little bit better on the. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that blank and see if they'll let me kind of click through the form without having to fill that in. Okay. Oh, great. It says you are continuing a complaint without providing email or phone information. It says you do not have to provide contact information. However, we will not be able to contact you for any status updates or potential follow-up. Would you like to add your contact information now? If you prefer not to, you will go to step 2. So I said, no, I don't want to provide it. Okay. So then it asks you your primary concern, whoever is filling out the form. What is your primary reason for contacting the Civil Rights Division? And then it says select the reason that best describes your concern. Each reason lists examples of civil rights violations that may relate to your incident. In another section of this report, you will be able to describe your concern in your own words. So then it has a lot of different categories: workplace discrimination and examples, housing discrimination or harassment and examples, discrimination, basically education related, and examples. The examples are not like the only things that could happen, but they're just to kind of give people an idea of what they're talking about. Law enforcement complaints, and then it has examples. Voting rights complaints, and then examples. Commercial public place discrimination and examples. And then it has something else that happens. So let's just go ahead and click that. That's just easy. I'm going to click that right now. And it basically is to say something other than what's listed, is what basically it's saying. Okay, and then it says, location details. When did, where did this happen? And then it asks you to put in information. So I'm just going to put in test, just make stuff up. Test drive 1, 2, 3, 4. Test, and then I'm gonna put in since I'm talking about North Carolina here. Okay. Got it. Then it says, what are the personal characteristics? Do you believe any of these characteristics influence why you were treated this way? And then it says there are federal and state laws that protect people from discrimination based on their personal characteristics. Here is a list of the most common characteristics that are legally protected. Select any that apply to your incident. And I just emphasize that word legally because civil rights laws in America are super weak. They look like Swiss cheese. I've done videos about this topic because I, being a minority, it hits multiple categories, I've dealt with literally discrimination my entire freaking life. You know what I mean? And in multiple forms, not just one or two, or multiple types of discrimination. It's just reality. And so I talk about this stuff openly because it's not going away. I can't ignore it away, and I can't outrun the bigots. It's just a fact. This is a fact of my life. It's a fact of other people's lives. And I'm not the only one in Harnett County, North Carolina that's dealing with these kinds of issues either. Okay, so I'm just going to put other reason, well, no, it wants me to type something. So I'm going to click sex just as a checkbox, but it has a bunch of checkboxes here, tons of them, all different kinds. So I'm not going to read them all. You can go to the website and check it out. Then it says, the date. When did this happen? So I'm just going to put, make something up. January 1st, 1900. Just making stuff up. Okay. So that's the date. And it says personal description. And so this is the most interesting part, because you have 500 words and it's not characters. They're words. 500 words is what it says at the end of this right here. 500 words. Very tricky, let me tell you. Because I do a lot of editing to get that straight. It took me so long to submit this. I can't even tell you how much just time it took for me to do that. And it wasn't the form. The form's amazing. It was me because was really trying to focus on getting this is just right, getting it right, making sure everything looked the way it should look and was you could legible, they could actually understand what I'm even saying. So yeah, that's what I was doing. Okay, so I'm just gonna type in, test, just to kind of get to the next page to show you guys what I'm talking about. So I thought this was pretty cool. It says review your report. This is step 7. And it says, before you submit your report, please check your responses. And then you can go back and edit. You can edit in different sections, which I love. So you can check your contact information. You can edit your primary concern. You can edit your location if you had a typo, your personal characteristics if you realized something you didn't realize before or learned something you didn't know before from your research, the date it happened, and your personal description. And then the magic button says submit report, which I'm obviously not going to do because there's nothing to report there. All right. That was just an example.